It doesn't matter if it's a small loss or a kitchen fire or a total loss. If a loss occurs, the point of the policy is to bring back what you had. So I think, and I'm all about helping and supporting neighbors. We do it as well. I'm a huge advocate for that.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to take this
proof in the pudding on that is that you do not only events with, the town, but you also do things like the Santa Fund. I mean, you are out there. You really have a presence in your community for a business here locally.
Yeah, we love to help our neighbors. But if your policy, and I wanted to do a quick example, if your policy is in place and you're not leaving out in the cold and you're doing what I always say, and that is being your own advocate, if you have a loss like that, your policy will respond, and what will you be owing? Most likely just your deductible. So let's talk about it. Let's say I have a house. I started off the policy. It was $150,000. Maybe over the course of time, I've done some items and updates, and I wanted to make sure my insurance policy is aware of that. So now I have a $200,000 limit on my house. So I'm keeping tabs and making sure that the things that I'm doing are being accounted for in the value. And if I have a $200,000 limit on my house, 10% of that is for other structures automatically. So I automatically have $20,000 for detached structures. The next limit of coverage would be coverage C, so it's A, B, C. Now I'm on to C, which is personal property. Most companies, that's either 70 or even 80%. There's even some other percentages available with certain companies of the limit of coverage on your house applies to personal property. So if I have $200,000 on my house, I have most likely $140,000 for personal property protection. But below that is quite important too. Coverage D, which is loss of use. So now I can't reside in my house because I had a loss that prevents me from living there. I have up to a percentage there as well. Did I say 20%? Anyway, it's 20% for that one. So I have up to $40,000 for additional living expenses. What does that mean? It means I might have to rent a place while my house is being repaired.
Right.
There's going to be additional expenses.
I have a house fire right now. Will I be able to get into a hotel this evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Most companies will give you an advance, what they call an advance check, because they know
to cover you for groceries and stuff.
Right. There are some immediacy that are there. So you would absolutely, if you have a total loss fire, if you have a small water loss or some other things, it may take 24 to 48 hours before a claims adjuster comes to you.
Yeah, but nobody's dying or hurting from that.
But I will tell you that I hate to say it, but our office has sustained some total loss fires in the years that I've been at the office. And I will tell you that on a couple of occasions, not only have I been on site, our claims adjuster has been on site, and in some cases, our special investigation unit with one of our companies has been on site as the fire is still being extinguished. So, that's definitely a top-of-mind, immediate response. So just something to think about that, if it, God forbid, if something happens, do you think your homeowner policy will cover the loss? Think about that. Look at your policy. Ask questions.
I think also I'm not 100% sure on what we're talking about in sort of a random...
I'm not 100% sure what we're talking about either.
In a roundabout way. But I think that in some situations, there may be medical bills and things that are sort of like compounded or issues because of having a loss.
Right.
And I think sometimes people come out to... give money to help out with those things.
Absolutely, because that's the unfortunate is that you're not going to have medical coverage available on your policy for yourself.
Right.
So that's a huge thing there. So you definitely want to make sure that you're helping protect your neighbors at that point.
So speaking of policies, my question now, I guess, would be, if you have an incident like this, does your rate go up? That would be the first question. And most likely it would, right?
I do because it depends.
It's okay.
It really does. It depends. Because if you have a total loss fire, you're going to lose a loss-free credit with just about any company. But I've got companies that say, yeah, you had a loss. We're sorry. We're going to lose this credit, but we'll keep you. Okay. I even have companies that go, oh, gosh, you had a loss. See you later. Once we're done paying, we're done. And once your policy comes up for its pending renewal, we're not going to renew it.
Find something else.
And that drives me bonkers.
Well, if I do have to go to somebody else,
unfortunate that would happen.
If I do have to go to somebody else, does good credit play a role in me getting discounts or help? And on an addition to that, are there any things that I can do, like take classes or get automatic seatbelts? Say my car burns up in the fire at my house in the garage. Is there things that I can do that will make it a little cheaper.
Sure. So you're talking about good credit. So you're talking about a credit score of sorts. Is that what you're talking
Yes.
about? So insurance, and most every insurance carrier does this now. And it used to be optional with some carriers. Now it's just, this is what we do. And in Vermont, you only need to say to somebody, look, we're going to be using a consumer report, i.e. an insurance score, which is a small consumer snapshot, not anywhere near the level of detail of a credit score or a
Like
credit
buying a
report.
house.
It is more like getting a cell phone.
Okay.
That's a great comparison. So that because people who qualify for what these companies are looking for statistically are less likely to have a claim. So as a result, they see a bigger credit. On the other end, if you don't have great credit, you are statistically more likely to have a claim. So that may not bode well for you. And I will tell you, if you've had an insurance policy for many years, you probably don't have an insurance score as part of the rating process because you've been grandfathered. But you start shopping again, and that's going to play a role. But that can save you. I got companies that will give you 15, 20, 25% credit for having a good insurance score.
Okay.
Pretty impressive.
All right.
And, driver training.
Oh, God, he's still talking.
Wait, no, you
Yeah.
said...
Yeah, go ahead. Hurry up.
Real quick, you asked if there's any class you could take. Well, you can do a driver training course and maybe save a little bit on your auto policy.
All right, there you go. Speaking of saving money, you can have money saved by going to Barrett Insurance in St. Johnsbury. Mike Barrett, always willing to look at your old policy or talk to you about new policies and maybe
Or good
shifting over,
policies.
coming to the dark side. Come to me. We have candy and cookies at our office.
We actually do have candy.
I know you do.
We have Kit Kats going right
and
now.
a dog too. I mean, geez, you got everything.
Oh, yeah,
to
we have
draw-
dog cookies.
Draw people, not the cookies. Oh goodness. All right. If you would like to contact this Bagubera here, you can call him at
748-5224. Visit our website, thebarrettagency.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Google Plus as Barrett Insurance Agency.